to the small world of Talisay City College. By the way, is my PowerPoint working?
You're still here, sir.
What?
We can see your PowerPoint.
Yeah. Okay. So again, let me welcome you to the small world of Talisay City College, and I will be navigating you to three important things. The first is I will be discussing about the school's current situation. The second is I will be discussing about challenges encountered by Talisay City College. And the last one, I will be discussing best practices and success story of Talisay City College. As you all know, Talisay City College is or has been formed in 2004, and we are a small college with not so big population. So before I will go into details, let me first share with you a quote by John C. Maxwell. He said that competence goes beyond words. It's the leader's ability to say it, plan it, and do it in such a way that others know that you know how and know that they want to follow you. This pandemic is actually testing us. This is actually an acid test of our competence as administrators and as teachers at the same time. But thankfully, because of the efforts done by each individual, we were able to carry through until we were able to finish the second semester of the previous school year or academic year. So how Kalajic Talisay City College is, even before the pandemic, if we have some needs, we always do a lot of things, and Talisay City College is already an assemblage of diverse things. Like for example, if we need additional classrooms, or we need additional computer units, or if we need additional comfort rooms, we always do something so that we can come up with these projects. Like we have Concert for a Cause, we also partner with other companies just to come up with these needs that we are having. So when the pandemic happened and when the quarantine was issued like 2 weeks before the administration of our midterm exam, teachers were becoming confused already. And there were a series of meetings conducted, and we were able to come up with solutions, although we think that the solution is not enough to actually address the needs. So when the pandemic happened last March, classrooms were empty, and then we are having a series of meetings together with our president and the deans of the different departments. And our first solution is to actually come up with the distance learning tasks. The distance learning task is like an online teaching wherein we can introduce to our students lessons, and they will be accomplishing it within a period of time. But just within 2 weeks, the government of Cebu province, Governor Gwen, declared that there will be no online class. So what we did is we actually introduced another method, which is classroom learning tasks. Classroom learning tasks actually is not the same as distance learning tasks, because in classroom learning tasks, we are preparing our documents with the hope that when students will return to school and when everything will go back to normal, we can always give these materials to our students for them to accomplish those documents or those tasks. But then again, we find it very lacking. So teachers grew weary, and we have some questions in our minds, like how are we going to go about this? how are we going to deliver our lessons, and are we capable of doing it? And we try to also introduce online, like we use the Facebook, electronic mail, and also messenger in the delivery of our lessons. But then again, because of this, students were having confusions, and there were a lot of questions in their minds. Like for example, they were asking if are they able to finish it? Are they able to do it? Because can you imagine if one student have 8 subjects, then he or she will be receiving a lot of tasks to accomplish, and it is not easy, especially if one teacher is requiring you a lot of things. So it is actually creating a confusion, and students begin to question their ability to accomplish the semester. So a lot of students are having confusions in their minds because of deadlines as well. And there's this fear of failure. That's why we always emphasize to our students that during this pandemic, we will not give any failing grade, but instead we will give them an INC or incomplete grade. There's also this fear of not beating the deadlines, because as teachers, we are also required to submit our final grades within a specific period of time, and if we cannot do that, then everything will be sacrificed, like our salary perhaps, and whatnot. And then, students are asking for help. Why? Because of the no internet access. And also, they don't have the gadget to use in order for them to carry the tasks given to them online. So, what was our action as an institution? What was our immediate action? First is we actually conducted a survey to prepare ourselves for the coming semester. So if everything will go on smoothly, we will start our new school year, academic year, our first semester in September. And during our survey, we have 3,700 students. And out of the 3,700 students, 2,273 responded to our survey. And 90.3% of the respondents were actually using smartphones as their primary device for distance learning. And then another 70% were only having 1 to 5 Mbps. And we all know that the 1 to 5 Mbps internet connection is only good for checking mails, for using social media, and basic web browsing. So the bandwidth is not actually enough for heavy video conferencing and also for streaming of videos. And then another result is 68.9% preferred instant messaging. So we all know that the young people nowadays are always fond of messenger, instant messaging. And this is what we are adopting for now. And our teachers are actually introducing and giving their lessons through messenger. Another result is 83.6% would like to be contacted via Facebook, and then 52.3% would like to be contacted via text message, and then 23% would like to be contacted via phone calls, and 18.6% want to be contacted via email. So it is very clear from the very beginning that online learning is not guaranteed. In fact, there is a need for us to review the status of our students. And there is a need for us to actually provide trainings for our teachers and our leaders in this new paradigm. Another immediate action that we have done is actually what we call the BDO, or the barangay drop-off. Because Talisay City is composed of 22 barangays, and some of these barangays are in the highlands, or they are considered mountain barangays. And most of the students there don't have access to the internet. Much more so, they don't have the gadget. So what we did, we actually employ the barangay drop-off. It is when we take our exams to the barangay, and then we will go back after a week to retrieve those papers and bring it back to the school and distribute it to the teachers so that they can check the papers. So the job is actually tedious and it is not easy, but thankfully we are able to finish our second semester last July 15. So even if we are facing a lot of struggles, even if we are facing mountains and walls of impossibilities, we are able to carry through and finish our second semester last July 15. So what is our plan? What is our plan for the ultimate? The ultimate is the coming new academic year, and we are planning to have it in September. So right now, we are actually trying to have the process of module making, because we are aware that we cannot completely have the online class, even if it is asynchronous in nature, much more so if it is synchronous, because of the situation and the status of our students. Maybe teachers can provide their own connection, but our students are coming from the poorest of the poor, and we are funded by the local government, and the local government can only do so much because the focus is now being diverted from the academe to addressing the needs during these trying times. So we are not the only concern of the LGU, and there are a lot of things that the LGU is focusing on, not only Talisay City College. Another thing is, we are slowly introducing some virtual platforms. Like for example, the use of MS Teams, Microsoft Teams, the use of other user-friendly platforms like Flipgrid, Quizlet, Moxtra, and so on. And it all depends on the availability and also the convenience of these platforms to the teachers. And we are also establishing partnership with different companies. In fact, last week, Thursday, we had a meeting with PLDT because they are introducing to us their LMS, or the learning system. So we are actually having a meeting, and by tomorrow we will introduce to the president what we have talked about during our virtual meeting, because we all know that all of this will be for the good, not only for the teachers but also for the students. And we are also thankful for Smart Communications, because they are providing our school with free pocket Wi-Fis, the Smart Bro, although it is not too many, but we are giving it to deserving students. The Smart Communication Company is also giving us 200 5G SIMs, and then we are planning to distribute this to our teachers first, and then the rest will be to our students. So, as you can see, we are facing a lot of struggles, and it's like a tug of war. We are still trying to marry the new normal and the previous normal, so that we can move on and go on with our lives, and we can continue in the delivery of quality education. So even if it is very difficult from our part, being an administrator at the same time a teacher, and also students are having a hard time, I always believe in the words of Robin Sharma. And he said that your I can is more important than your IQ. So even if how brilliant we are in planning, even if we have the system, the best system, but if we don't have the will to do it, then nothing will happen. So I just hope that this afternoon we can have an exchange of ideas on how to improve and how to deliver the best education to our students. So that will be all from my end. I would like to say thank you for listening, and I am more than willing to listen to your suggestions and to your rejoinders later on. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Doc,
Yes.
I'll put it in one word. Task that is around this new normal is dedication.
Yes, yes.
Tap on your shoulder.
It takes a heart and dedication to hurdle all the struggles and all the things that we are facing right now. You need to be dedicated, or else you cannot deliver what is expected from you.
Thank you so much for that insightful.
Thank you, Dr. Monero. Okay, Nancy, our next speaker.
Yes, sir. Let me share or